This bitch done worked my nerves.
Well, being in Atlanta all this time and then going to Nashville, where it's predominantly white. One, they go home at 5 and 6 o'clock when they're producing because they go home to their families.
Okay.
Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks.
Hold on, wait a minute now. When you say our space, you got to qualify that because not everybody's singing about side chicks. If I remember correctly, you have, because I think K. Michelle, if I remember correctly, she does R&B, right? We have guys like Tyrese, okay, singing love songs. You know, as a matter of fact, his most recent album, he brought it back. So, you know, to the old school style. So I don't know what she's talking about. So you got to qualify what you mean when you say our. But let's go.
We are singing about, we are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a hoe in Nashville because they'll never even listen to your music and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community?
Oh, yeah, and by the way, if I remember correctly, Dolly Parton's song, very famous song, Jolene, I think it is. Yeah, it's about a side chick, but let's go.
Do our men create real homes? And even talking, just our first time talking, and you said you didn't even mean for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful Black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know? And
Cam Newton turned the narrative on Black family. No shade. No shade. But y'all look into his background. Yeah, stop looking to celebrities for that.
my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, I got to tell my Black men to really step up for Black women and create families.
You're a victim.
Is what? Yo, she went straight to the tears that quick. Okay, ma'am. Okay, you know what? I'm utterly convinced that we gotta stop listening to women like this. Okay, I can hear it already, man. EJ don't like Black women. EJ don't like Black women. Bull. I love y'all. I just hate the ones that make y'all look bad. It's clear this woman, A, doesn't know what she's talking about, and B, those are fake tears.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking Black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere.
Cap. I'm just gonna let it continue.
It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful Black men, to be, you have to set an example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on Black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. So.
Okay, Chrisette Michelle, K. Michelle, listen. Strong Black woman. Now, that's what you're touting, right? Well, how strong of a Black woman are you when you come to this man's podcast, knowing he got a lady with your testicles out like this? Is this what strong women do? Wear neon green outfits, fashioned in such a way to where the part that's supposed to cover them looks like green areolas? You tell me if this is indicative of the strength that you're talking about, because I'm not seeing it. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna let it keep going, but nah, fake tears and all, garbage.
There probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening, because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to Black women. What is going on with the Black family? We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there.
But see, we have to ask ourselves why this is the case. I have multiple people that I know personally who, just because they no longer agree with their baby daddy on something as frivolous as the type of job he has, you know, perfect for when it was first smashing, right? But as soon as you had the kid, oh, I don't like his job. I think he a lame. I think he not a real one. So you end up leaving this guy. I mean, we don't talk about those situations, right? But we're going to put it all on the men because what? He didn't try hard enough. We live in a society to where, quote unquote, trying hard enough can get you slapped with a restraining order and probably make you a victim of proxy violence. So dead that. In my opinion, we both need to do a bit more, but more of the blame as to, or should I say responsibility as it goes to fixing this situation, lie on the shoulders of the women. Because let's be honest, if you're not happy with the men that you're getting, when you have the young men in your possession, which I think is like at a grip of like 80%, give or take, you can put your beautiful, strong brains together and figure out how to make those men be the type of men that the future generation of women need. I'm just saying.
And they see their mama sad at night. At what point is the successful Black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day. I get to witness the best of both worlds every day. Getting on stage singing R&B, being here in Atlanta, I get to sing R&B, but then I get to go to Nashville and be like, you mean you ain't staying out till 6 in the morning? You gonna go home to your family? You gonna write this song and leave at 5 and 6 because you gonna take care of your family and your wife?
And plus, I'm like, you're looking at the music industry anyway. I mean, once again, no offense to anybody that's in the music industry, but let's call a spade a spade. It's not really the best place to try to find your examples of what a family should be. And that's it, right? It's a matter of perspective. Just because you have a trash perspective, right, as to what you qualify as what you should be looking at and shouldn't be looking at, doesn't mean that that's indicative of the whole culture. Oh man, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna try not to interrupt so much. Let's go.
At what point do the successful Black men build Black families? We ain't gonna ever have a Black family if y'all don't do it. We're never gonna have it. It's just not gonna happen. So if...
Okay, all right. Look, I tried. We can have successful Black families if one, you actually start looking at the men who you have babies by. Everybody keeps thinking about the quote unquote successful. And you know, like I know in our community, when they mention successful, they mean the dude who's like banging it out of the park economically, right? But no one is really looking at the guys who they're having babies with. You're not having babies with those guys who smacking it out the park economically. You're having babies with everyday run-of-the-mill Joe Blow, right? So why don't you try making it work? They don't be trying to make it work with regular everyday Joe Blow because in their minds, if he doesn't make enough money, they're not going to submit. How can a man build a situation that he does not have control over because you refuse to cooperate with him? Or you just chose a man who just wasn't fit to begin with. I think when it comes to the blame, you know what? I'm going to let them cook and I'm going to save that for my final thoughts. Let's go.
Your mentality is, yes, things happen. And I'm not knocking you for that. I didn't come here for that. But at what point do you take that Black woman? Do you be at a home and show your kids what it's like, you know? At what point do you take a grip to it, not make excuses for it or mantras and things like that? It is so unfair to Black women who have been the strength and builders of so many things. And I know life happens. You can't be with somebody you don't want to be with or whatever. But my grandparents did it. My grandfather, 92, died when he was 92, my best friend. I never seen another type of man. That's why I've turned down 3 rings. Because they wasn't like my grandpa.
And there's the problem, right? Why did you turn down those 3 rings? Here's the issue, right? If the first guy wasn't the right type of guy, right? After you done gave your body to him, potentially could have had kids with him, right? Okay, fine. We'll excuse that. Let's go on to guy number 2. Guy number 2 comes around. Okay, all right. Issues. Didn't work out. All right. At what point do you stop and look at yourself and say, hey, I have a broken boy picker. Here it is. Either, you know what, better yet, let me put it like this. Either the problem is you, after 3 bites at the apple, you still couldn't find anyone that you felt was like worth a damn. Maybe you don't know how to pick men that are worth a damn, or maybe you're not worth a damn. Let me stop before I get accused of, you know, blaming and shaming, you know.
Father raised 9 kids on his own because my grandmama died before I could even meet her. What point are our Black men going to stop the social media and all of that and build Black homes? If we don't build Black homes, we can't depend on white folk to build Black homes. So when you see somebody like your significant other who clearly loves you, and it's all these Black women rooting for her, rooting for you. They want you to build a Black home. That's their anger. They don't know you. They can't judge you for anything else. They want you.
You know what?
Big who you are, big.
I'm going to stop right here, right? Because this bit is getting on my goddamn nerves. And I'm just going to go ahead and give my final thoughts right here, right? Here's my issue. Here's the way I see it, right? If you want a man to build for you, and if you want Black men to build the communities that you desire, either A, be wise with who you have children with, or B, figure out if for whatever reason you have to leave, how to grow the F up and create the type of men that you need, especially since you say you're so goddamn strong. What's good, everybody, man? This bit done worked my nerves.